Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today we have a little bit of a different video and I haven't done one of these before. I usually do really themed videos, which I love to do, but I thought today we'd change it up a little bit for the next week. Let's just jump straight in and I'll tell you what the week has in store. So I've seen many people do this before and I thought I would have my hand in it because I don't feel like doing an actual focused video, so I thought this might be great. But it's kind of mood reading with me for the week and or a realistic week of reading for me because I'm not fully committed to reading. I mean, I'm loving the book I'm reading right now, but I'm not like going to force myself to read an allotted book in an allotted time. So this is kind of like, if I finish one book, if I finish two books, so be it. Life still continues. Like I said, mood read with me. But I am currently in the middle of two books. So the first book I have here is Britney Spears' The Woman in Me. I don't know how to say this without being mean, but I'm on 103, page 103, chapter 17. I don't want to be rude and, you know, form your own opinion on this, but for me, this book is a little bit too chaotic. It's kind of like someone has just jotted down a bunch of ideas and it doesn't feel like it flows. It just feels kind of messy and kind of rushed. Like there's points in here that's so irrelevant. Like she'll be talking about a serious topic and then be like, oh, I used to hide in the cupboard. Like, okay. Like there's just like things and maybe it's the delivery. It wasn't great and it felt really juvenile in my opinion. So I'm not entirely enjoying it. I got to the part where I heard everybody talk about with Justin Timberlake, and after that it just kind of fizzled for me. So I'm trying to get through this. I will finish this week, hopefully, but I'm not impressed as I thought I was going to be. I was under the impression a ghostwriter did this, but if they did, like surely they could have done a bit better and made it a little bit more cohesive, but that's just my opinion right now. Front looks ugly because there was a half-price sticker on there that I took off. Next, I'm reading The Perfect Girlfriend by Karen Hamilton, or Karen. I read this before. I want to say in 2018 or 19. I think 2018. When was this released? Yeah, 2018. I read it back then when it was new, and it's been sitting on my shelf and I keep looking at it, trying to figure out what the book was about. I kind of remembered the premise, but I didn't really remember anything else. So I'm doing a reread, and so far I am on page 166 on chapter 15. And I'm really loving it again. I remember liking it. I read it like on an old boat that I was on, and I was going through like a really horrible breakup at the time, and it's just like killing time by reading and listening to freaking Drake music. So I don't remember much. I didn't remember much of the story, and it's like I'm reading a brand new book all over again. And so far I'm obsessed. Like this morning I read like over 50 pages while I was drinking my morning coffee, just because I keep wanting to like know what's going to happen. So it's really exciting for me. But so far this book is about a main female character. Her name is Elizabeth Juliet Price, and then we have her ex-boyfriend. His name's Nate Goldsmith, and then yeah, the two of them used to be a couple. He broke up with her, kind of kicked her out, but she feels so angry. Like he just kicked her to the curb. She didn't deserve it, and he needs to know, like, you know, she's a good girl. She's good wife material. So she kind of becomes really obsessed with like getting back together with him. So she will stop at nothing. She's like stalking him. He's a pilot, so now she's become an air hostess and she's working for the same airline. So 7 months down the line, she's now tracked him down and wants to kind of like reconnect because he said he needed space. So she's like, 7 months was space, wasn't it? So it's really funny, and also I get a thrill out of it. Like just seeing how obsessive people get. Like if someone breaks up with you, just move on. But something traumatic did happen to Juliet when she was really younger, and her mom was kind of neglectful. So she used to leave Juliet when she was about 10 with her 4-year-old brother who had like a learning disability. So he accidentally drowned in a pond and she blames herself for it. So since then, I think she's always had mental problems that weren't addressed. So she's also like stalking this other girl who used to bully her at school. And yeah, it's literally chaos, and I'm absolutely loving it. So I cannot wait to finish this. I'll probably finish this before I start back up with Britney Spears. But for the rest of the week, I'm not sure what I want to read. I thought maybe I would turn to my Kindle, or I'm not sure. I'm really not sure, but I think I want to read another book on my Kindle. So I love reading on my Kindle. Like, I just feel like I read so much faster. I have a few books downloaded on there, which I'll go through when we get there. And yeah, that is kind of what the week will comprise of. I hope you guys look forward to the journey, but please remember to like and subscribe, and let's get reading. I finished the book yesterday. Sorry, I look a little bit worse for wear. I say that in too many of my videos, I swear, but I am still sick. I don't know if I mentioned that in my intro, but I've been sick for like going on to a week now, and I'm still recovering. Oops, I just touched my mic. I'm still recovering, so some days are better than others. Yesterday I like filmed a makeup video, got ready, filmed my intro, but today I'm not feeling great. It is also a miserable day outside, hence why I have my lamp on. It's kind of raining and dreary and miserable and gross. So I just want to chill. I just edited for like 3.5 hours my makeup video, which is way too long. And this is going to be long too if I keep jabbering. But yeah, this is why I have absolutely no makeup on. I haven't brushed my hair and I'm just chilling. So like I said, I finished editing, so I thought I'd get into bed and just read a little bit. So I finished The Perfect Girlfriend last night. I just couldn't put it down. This book was so gripping. However, I gave this a 3.5 star because of the ending. The ending doesn't have I don't like epilogues, but I felt like this book needed an epilogue. It definitely left on a sort of a cliffhanger or like an open-ended ending. So kind of you just need to fill in the rest. And I just wanted to know what happened. So as I mentioned, this is about Juliet, who dated a guy named Nick, and something traumatic happened to her in her childhood where she lost her brother, and it wasn't her fault, but she was there when it all happened. So she feels guilty and responsible. When her mom sends her away to boarding school, she's kind of like one of those kids who's just a leper. We all know one of those in our schools. It's not good. It's not healthy, and it's frowned upon to be mean to them. But there was a really popular girl who just like shunned her and made fun of her. So she has a run-in with a boy when she's about 15, and she falls absolutely in love with him and literally is psycho. So she becomes like super obsessive, and she just has one of those personalities. So when she starts dating this guy named Nick, who is a pilot, they date for about 6 months, but she's so obsessive and becomes too intense. So he kind of breaks up with her, but she doesn't take it well. So he kind of even just rents a place for her to move her into, and is like, you know what, I need my space. This isn't going to work. It's too intense. And she's like, cool, I'll give you your space. She gives him 7 months. She ends up becoming an air hostess to be closer to him, and then schemes, oh my God, to get him back. And she will stop at literally nothing. Like, she intervenes with family, friends, his sister's fiance. She tries to get to his mother, and then oh my gosh, she tricks him and drugs him into doing something that she wants him to do. She tries to freaking not kidnap, but like keep him hostage in his own house. Like, she's absolutely mental. So at the end, like, she still hasn't given up, and she feels like she's trapped him, and that's where it ends. So it wasn't the best ending for me, and I kind of pushed it down. I would have given it a 4-star. I literally thought it was going to be a 4-star the whole time I was reading it, but then came to the ending, and I don't think it's as deserving as some of the 4 stars I've read, but I'm really happy I finished it. Like I said, it was a reread, so I remember nothing from the first time. So yeah, I'm glad I read it. It can go back on my shelf now that I have a better idea of what it's about. I actually need to update my reading journal. I haven't done that in a while. I've put in the books and my star rating and the page length, but I haven't written like my thoughts or anything. So I might have forgotten because I read so much. So maybe a little bit later we'll jump into that. I'm going to continue with the Britney Spears book now. Like I said, I don't really want to read it, to be honest with you, but I kind of do just want to finish it so I can go back on my read shelf, and that will be the second book we've read in June. So I'm going to try and get a little bit further in this, and then I will update you guys what my thoughts are. I think I already explained in my intro what I thought so far, but I don't have any other thoughts because I haven't read any further. So I'll update you guys then, but for now I'm just going to try and get some reading in, and when I start doing my journaling, I'll bring you guys along with me. So I thought I'd give you guys a little update. It's not massive, but I've only read 30 pages in the last 2.5 hours. Like, this book is just not captivating me. The way it's written is so sporadic and chaotic. Like, I can't keep up. And I'm undiagnosed. I feel like I have like ADD or ADHD, and it's literally not drawing me in. So I don't know what to say. I kind of want to DNF it or just read something else for a bit, like maybe a soft DNF, and maybe we'll come back to it at a later stage. So that is the update for now. I can't. My mind is just all over the place, and I cannot like hunker down on it like I did with this book over here. I literally couldn't put it down last night. I was like, I'm only going to read 2 chapters, and then I ended up finishing the book. I'm not feeling the same about this Britney Spears, The Woman in Me. I feel like it's not written for me. Not that it was written for me, but not someone like me. I don't know. I just can't keep up, and I feel like it's too sporadic and all over the place. So what I'm going to do now is charge my Kindle. I think I have like 20% charge on there. I need to make dinner, so I'm going to do that while my Kindle charges it. And then I think we'll read. Sorry, I need to get it. It's on my bookshelf. Oh shit, I think I scratched the screen. So I'm thinking of reading this by Frida McFadden. It's called The X. And I'm not sure though. And then the other... I'm still figuring out this Kindle. I used to have a Fire tablet. And then the other book I really want to read is... I have 2 actually. It's called Troublemaker by Elle Kennedy. I really liked the first book in the series called Heartbreaker. So good. And it's like a spicy romance. Really love that, and I think that will bring me out the funk that I'm in with The Woman in Me. And then the other one I wanted to read, which is actually a thriller as well, is called The Orphanage by the Lake by Daniel G. Miller. That looks pretty interesting to me, so I'm not entirely sure what I'll read. The cover looks like that. But I think I might actually read the Frida McFadden just because I know that I can get through those quite quickly. So it will either be the Frida McFadden or the Elle Kennedy book, because I really liked that book. I read it like on the way home in the car, didn't even get car sick, and I finished it in the car, so that was great. I think that's the plan for now. I'm going to soft DNF that book and maybe pick it up later on in this week. We are on day 2 of this reading vlog, so I'm going to go cook, charge my Kindle, and I'll get back to you guys about what I choose. Hi friends! So I was filming a couple shorts quickly, so I thought I would just jump in here and let you guys know. We are now on day 3 of this week. I finished 1 book already. I soft DNF'd another book, but last night I started The X by Frida McFadden. I honestly just wanted something quick, something exhilarating, and something that would keep me enticed. I look like I have no neck, like I'm just a floating head. Anyway, like I said, I started The X by Frida McFadden. I am currently 33% in on page 117. I actually read pretty fast. I picked it up quite late last night. I think it was around 8 or 9 p.m. And then I read a couple of chapters this morning while I was having a little soak in the bath. But it's so reminiscent of the book I read first, The Perfect Girlfriend by Karen Hamilton, and it's the same concept as like the ex-girlfriend can't get over him, starts stalking, becomes obsessed. I'm sure it's going to lead in the same direction. I've heard that Frida McFadden does kind of take other people's stories and then put her own twist on it. So it's not bad. I'm still enjoying it and I'm still captivated by it, but I am very excited to see where it goes. So so far we have two main female characters, the new girlfriend, the ex-girlfriend. So new girlfriend, her name is Cassie. She is 26 years old. And we have our second or ex-girlfriend, which is the second character. Her name is Francesca, and she's about 36 years old. Then we have the main male character, and his name is Joel, and he is also 36 years old. He's a doctor. Francesca owns a restaurant that is kind of failing and not bringing in as much money as she likes, and Joel recently broke up with her about 5 to 6 months ago. So he meets Cassie in a bookstore that she actually owns, and the bookstore's not doing well either, but she had inherited it from her grandparents. So she kind of just wants to make it work. One of her best friends is helping her out, and it's just a used bookstore. So he comes in there one day, and he's a medical professional. So because the bookstore is close to a training hospital, lots of students come into the used bookstore, and they kind of keep wanting medical textbooks, but she just doesn't have them. He walks in there one day, and her friend jokes like, oh, it's a hot doctor. But anyway, she's like, yeah, maybe she should go on a date. It's been like 2 years since Cassie went on her last date, or what do you call it, like frolicked around with a man. I don't know what to call that, but anyway, it's been a while, and her friend really wants her just to get back into it, whatever. So she meets Joel in this bookstore, but he actually doesn't want a textbook, even though he's in scrubs. He actually is looking for Wuthering Heights, which is one of her favorite books, her grandma's favorite books. And when she hears him want this, she's like, hearts no eyes, you know, so interested. And it ends up being for his mom, so that's even more cuter, because he's come in buying an old classic for his mom, and it's a secondhand one, so it has like emotions and feelings behind it, and she likes books that tell a story. So he ends up asking her on a date, and then it progresses from there. But so far there's been hints of Francesca in it. Francesca has a Find Like My iPhone or Find My Friends and Family app that she's linked to with Joel, and she keeps following these so that she can find them everywhere, and she ends up like stalking them. So where I am right now, she's currently in the thick of it. Her grandmother, because she had to move out of her apartment, her grandmother now has caught on that she's following him around. But I'm wondering where it will go. Some little hints have been dropped. I think Cassie does have something to hide, and I think Francesca will stop at nothing to get Joel back, even though they were together for like 10 years and he didn't want to be with her. But anyway, that's a ramble and a half. That's what the book is about. I'm really liking it so far. I'm feeling it. Probably going to be about a 4-star depending on how it ends. But yeah, that's what I think so far. I'll keep you guys updated, and yeah, let's keep reading. Good morning, friends. So I'm still in my PJs. I am actually feeling a little bit better today. I think that my cold has subsided, so that's positive. I still do have like a little niggly cough. Last night, I didn't really read much more. I read in the bath. I don't know if I updated you guys before. After that, I read in the bath, and then I just didn't read anymore. I just wasn't in the mood. Like I said, this is a realistic reading week in my life. So if I don't feel like reading, I'm not going to force myself, especially because that's kind of the premise of this whole video, because I don't feel like... These are shaped really weirdly. I just didn't feel like reading, so I didn't. But I did read a little bit more this morning. I think I read about 3 chapters, and I am currently on chapter 23, which is page 158. So I'm starting to get a little bit annoyed with the book. I'm reading The X by Frida McFadden. I don't know if I said that, but I'm going to just use these eye patches. The little gap where your eye goes is really small, and they slide down all the time. But I thought I'd just do a face mask today. I'm getting a little bit annoyed. I feel like we've just been going round and round in circles. Like, Francesca's been stalking Cassie. Cassie doesn't know who Francesca is, but she kind of now has an inkling that it must be her that's stalking. Francesca's delusional. She thinks that Joel is going to take her back, and it's just going round and round in circles. She's had an opportunity to like go and meet someone else, but she just isn't taking the bait. She is like completely convinced that Joel's going to want her back. She's spending all her money that she doesn't have on like her credit card and stuff just to buy new dresses and new shoes, because she thinks that if Joel sees her in it, he's going to want her back. But it's been like 7 months. He's not going to want her back at this point, especially when he's seeing someone else. I'm just using like a Lifting Care collagen mask, and this is just a sheet mask. And yeah, it feels like it's going round and round in circles and we're not getting anywhere. So I don't know if it's just my frustration because of what is happening and they all just keep making dumb decisions, or if it's literally because I'm no longer enjoying the book. I'm going to put on this mask and then I am going to sit down and make a coffee, sit down and read some more, and then I will update you guys. I was going to film some shorts today. I might still, but I just really want to just take care of my skin. Like I keep saying, I get married next year, so I kind of just want to have my skin the best that I can. So I'm really taking the time now to do this. I'm currently looking for a new job as well. If you follow my other channel, you'll know that I was diagnosed with LADA, which is latent autoimmune diabetes of adulthood. So I kind of got let go of from my job just because, you know, it's a risk to have someone on insulin on board, especially if you're in the middle of the ocean. So I don't think that's a viable option for me career-wise. So I've been looking at some courses to do. I do want to go into like something beauty related. I can't put this on and then talk. I do want to go into something beauty related, but for now I'm just like trying to keep going until obviously the wedding next year and hopefully immigration and all of that stuff. So I'm just taking a little bit of time. I should be doing some other things, but I really just want to do a face mask, so that's what I'm gonna do. So this always looks kind of Hannibal Lecter-esque. So I'm gonna just relax, move it up. I'm gonna relax and just let this soak in and hopefully read some, and then I'll let you know where I'm at. Whether we're DNFing, starting a new book, because we already DNF'd one book in the video, so hopefully not. So yeah, I'll see you guys in a bit. Good afternoon, everyone. So it is currently Monday. I didn't read anything after I finished the last book that I finished, and I think I finished it on Friday, I want to say. Yeah, on Friday. I was reading The X by Frida McFadden, and like I was saying, that it was very similar to the other book I read, The Perfect Girlfriend. There was a bit of similarities, but very different. The plot twist I did not expect. I think I discussed what it was about in my previous clip, but it was kind of about, I don't know, the way it was written, it was jumping timelines, but you cannot see that. So it has the point of view of the ex and then the new girlfriend. It got confusing. There were so many different intertwining stories that you didn't expect the twist when it came. So it's kind of about this girl who started dating this guy, obviously. I can't remember what his name is now. Joel. So Joel was dating Francesca, so it kind of felt like it was Francesca's point of view, and then he was dating a new girl named Cassie, and it was going back and forth between the two. Joel got really uncomfortable every time someone brought up his ex-girlfriend Francesca. He didn't want to tell Cassie anything about it. He literally just avoided it, but his friends made a huge deal about it, like how she wasn't Francesca and she would never be Francesca. They invited to a Halloween party, and she's like, Cassie, she's like, well, what should I dress up as? And they give her, well, his best friend's wife gives her an idea, and it ends up being the same costume that Francesca had worn the year before, the year before that, however long the timeline was. But then at the end, there's such a big twist, and you find out that the ex wasn't actually Francesca, it was a completely different ex, and all his exes seem to be somehow like intertwined and a little bit psycho. And Cassie's going through all these things with being stalking. She's being stalked. Someone keeps breaking into her apartment, writing slurs. They vandalize her shop. So she's going through quite a lot. And she is only like 26 years old, and Joel is 36 years old, so everybody's making this huge deal about the age gap, but when they're together she doesn't feel that age gap, and she just wants like a whirlwind romance. And she doesn't completely feel that with Joel, but she loves him a lot, and he's like saved her life a few times because she is allergic to peanuts. Because she avoids peanuts, she doesn't carry her EpiPen on her, and he's a doctor, so he saved her a few times. But I did like the story, and I gave it a 3.5 or 4 star. I can't remember now, but thinking back on it, I would give it a 3.5 star. It wasn't Frida McFadden's best book, but nor was it her worst. I really did enjoy it. Then over the weekend, I didn't read anything, literally zero. On Friday night, I had my best friend over. We had a little girls' night sleepover. Saturday, I was a little bit
hungover and I didn't do much. I went shopping with my mum and then dinner with my family, so didn't read then. Sunday I had my auntie's 60th birthday and literally it started at like 12:30, which was an hour, and it was an hour away, so I didn't have much time to read then either. Got home quite late last night, felt a bit ill, so I went to bed. So literally no other reading was done. For the next couple of days, what am I doing? Sometimes I can't figure out how to use this Kindle because I used to have a Fire tablet. But I'm also sorry about the lighting. I didn't turn on all my studio lights. I just did like some shorts on TikTok, and I do makeup shorts. And honestly, the lights sometimes just mess with my eyes quite a bit because they're so bright. So I only have one ring light here. I hope it's okay. It still seems to be illuminating me okay in the viewfinder. My tripod is also a little bit skewed, so please forgive me for that. The next book I think I want to read, I'm really in like a thriller mood though. So I have Where's Molly by H.D. Carlton, but her books just seem to be over 500 pages, so I'm not sure. I think I also said I wanted to read The Orphanage by the Lake or Troublemaker by L. Kennedy. And because I'm still in such a thriller mood, I think I might go for The Orphanage. Yeah, let's go for The Orphanage. So I'll update you when I get a little bit further in that. I haven't even read the prologue, so I will update you guys. I think I did read the no, that's acknowledgements. Never mind, I did not. That is the cover. Don't know if you'll be able to see. I love that Kindle does this now with the little covers on the front, but I will let you guys know when I get started and what I think. Today is Monday, like I said, and this vlog is going to go up until Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. I actually forgot when I started this video, but it looks like I started it on the 6th of June. It wasn't. Oh my gosh, I actually started this on Monday. I looked at the wrong thing because it says that I was modified on the 6th, so it actually should have ended today. But because I didn't read that much and was a mood reading type of video, I think I'm going to just extend it till Thursday. So this will be just over a week. I don't know if that's a good idea, but I don't want to end the video here because I literally didn't film much else. So let's do one more book until let's just read until this book is finished and then we'll finish up this video. But I really thought that I started it on Thursday, but then I was thinking, how have I read a whole book, a whole 2 books and a half because I DNF'd Britney Spears? But yeah, I couldn't have done that in 2 days, so definitely not. I should have known. So yeah, let's take this till Thursday or Wednesday until whenever I finish this book, and I'll let you guys know. Hi guys, so it's been a while since I've spoken to you, so I'm embarrassed to announce that I didn't really read anything else since I last spoke to you. Today is Thursday. I last spoke to you on Monday and I didn't get very far. I just didn't feel like picking up a book, and I guess that was the whole premise of this whole video, just like mood reading with me, and I wasn't in the mood to read, so yeah. I tried my hardest, but we read like, say, 3.5 books. So I started off with The Perfect Girlfriend by Karen Hamilton. Absolutely loved this book. Gave it a 3.5. I know it's not the best rating, like not a 4-star. 3.5 is still pretty good in my opinion. But the reason I gave it 3.5 stars is because the ending kind of just was open-ended, and I personally don't like open-ended endings. It always sounds weird when I say that because I'm such a I just want to know. I guess I'm nosy and curious. Like, I don't want to come to my own conclusion. Tell me how it is. As I was saying, it follows Juliet and Nate, and there are exes. He broke up with her and she just cannot fathom why he would do that. She's the perfect girlfriend, perfect wife material, and she deserves this. She's gone through a lot in her life and she feels like she deserves a man who has money, first of all, who has a family that's put together and everybody gets along. She tries everything in her power to get him back, but he just says he wants space. So she kind of gives him 7 months, then ends up becoming an air hostess because he is a pilot. So they end up working for the same airline company. Psycho, I know. And she meets people along the way who she just is really she's not the nicest person, but I think it's because she's basically a psychopath and she's obsessed with Nate. And something actually happens in their childhood that actually somehow connected them. Like, she went to school with his sister, but also there's more to it. So she kind of traps him. She even not kidnaps him, but she imprisons him in his own house. She gets on a flight and does her workday and then comes back, and he's kind of escaped and he thinks he's rid of her. It just I don't want to give away too much, but it just keeps going. It had me giggling because it was really funny the lengths that she would go to just to get him back, but it was really psycho. I just ate it up. It is a mystery slash thriller, which I've told you I think is my genre. I'm reveling in it at the moment and I just can't get enough. So it was perfect for where I am and kept me going. And then I think the next book is what kind of threw me off slightly, which is The Woman in Me by Britney Spears. I don't know who the ghostwriter even is. I haven't read like the acknowledgements or anything. Honestly, everything has makeup on it. My books are all behind me over here and I do my makeup here on my desk. So I just saw along all the spines, I have like makeup setting spray. It's a little bit dirty because it's like a soft matte black, so you could see everything on it. And like I said in the beginning of this video, it's kind of chaotic. It's got no rhyme or reason. There's no chronological order of events. Like it's kind of jumping back, forth, and it was too scattered. I couldn't follow along and it didn't feel cohesive enough for me. So I ended up DNFing this book and I got to page 133 of like, I want to say it's 300 pages, like 270. So I'm like basically halfway through the book and I'm gonna soft DNF it for now, and maybe if I'm in a different type of reading mood I can pick this up again. But usually when I DNF a book I struggle to get back in just because I already have that mental block in place. This is going to be a DNF for me in this video. I think this is only my third DNF of the year, maybe fourth, but I haven't done too many this year because I've been reading a lot of really good books. I watch Destiny Sidwell, Sarah Caroli, Rachel Catherine, a few book girlies, and they've recommended some great books. I don't like romance personally, like especially like fluffy romance, not into that. I prefer darker romance, which those girls do not. Their romance recs I just ignore, but anything else I usually like. So I've been reading some really, really good books. I am also going through like a backlist of books that I should have read but never had the exposure to. Like I wasn't big on Book Talk or BookTube at the time, so a lot of those recs I didn't. Yeah, so like I don't know if you saw the new series called Geek Girl. I actually read that entire series in I think 2018. I read that entire series and I was so happy when the series came out. I actually have watched it like 5 times. It's literally one of my comfort shows. I really hope they don't cancel it. Please, Netflix. Anyway, this wasn't for me, so anyway, next I read The X by Frida McFadden. I'm on a Frida McFadden kick right now, just because obviously it is a lot of thrillers. I'm going to do a book haul. I already put them on my shelf, but I got a bunch of new, it's mostly thrillers, and then I have one like dark academia fantasy book. So I'm going to do a book haul in the next video, so you'll be able to see that, because I'm now accumulating more thriller books because obviously that's where my interest lies, and hopefully that will stop my burnout and slumps from happening, but it's just an inkling, we'll see. So yeah, The X by Frida McFadden kind of follows the same story as I said of The Perfect Girlfriend, where it's just like an ex-girlfriend who becomes really obsessed with her ex-boyfriend, and in this book she's a little bit more psycho, but it's like 3 storylines intertwined with the ex, and then we have the point of view of the new girl as well, and they all look kind of similar because obviously he has a type. It's just going back and forth and people have secrets, and at the end when it reveals who the original ex-girlfriend was, I never expected it, almost fell off my chair. But it's about Joel and Cassie who just started dating, and Joel has a bunch of, well, not a bunch, but he has a few crazy ex-girlfriends who will stop at nothing because they think he's perfect, and no one likes Cassie because she's 26 years old, he's 36 years old. So she never expected to fall for him, but there's a few things that happened where he kind of saved her life because he is a doctor. Like, she's allergic to peanuts and she hasn't used her EpiPen in a long time, so it's not where she thought it was. So one day when like they got on a date and he's asked her like, where's your EpiPen, and she was like, oh, it's in my bag, and then goes looking for it, it's not there. So he kind of encourages her to get a new prescription, and
he ends up carrying on him as well, which is kind of cute. Through a bunch of events, I always say that, but through a lot of events and like literal events, like they go out with his friends and hang out and like go to the zoo and stuff with his friends, and they really do not like her, especially his best friend's wife, Lydia, who was best friends with his ex-girlfriend. So there's kind of like a little bias there. Yeah, it followed the same kind of Psycho X, but I really enjoyed it, and I gave this a 4-star because it's Freedom McFadden. I know everybody, it's not for everybody. It's kind of simple surface books, but it's so easy to follow. It's so fast paced. A lot of the times I'm not even surprised by the twist, but sometimes it is surprising, and a lot of the times it makes sense. So that's why I like her for that. So the last book I mentioned on Monday is The Orphanage by the Lake by Daniel G. Miller, and it is a psychological crime thriller with a twist. I started this, I didn't start it on Monday, I'm not gonna lie. I started it on Tuesday and then read a bit on Wednesday. I made it to 34%, page 104. I'm really liking it, but like I said, I'm just not in a full-on reading mood right now. I'm like watching The Summer I Turned Pretty, and I watched Maxton Hall. Like I'm making excuses not to read, so I'm just not in the mood, which is kind of what we were doing this week anyways, just mood reading. This book follows a private investigator who is taking on a case of a missing girl. She's been missing for 6 months and no one seems to be doing anything about it. Her parents died, the girl who went missing, her parents died in a car accident, and she was left to her godmother, and her godmother actually put her in a home because she felt like her lifestyle didn't suit having a child. And so she's gone missing. There were cameras on the grounds but not covering the lake, so where I am now, the private investigator has gone to the town, gone through the school. Everybody's acting a little bit weird. They're all sallow and sweaty, like they're hiding something and something's eaten them, and she's trying to figure out what. She goes to the police. At first they don't want to help her, but then she kind of makes a friend and he kind of gives her the gist of the case. So that's kind of where I am. I think I will finish it and probably let you know in next week's video or the week thereafter when I have my next reading vlog. I will update you guys on that. But those are all the books I read. This outro is about 11 or 12 minutes long already. Hopefully I can cut out some breaks, but it's going to be a long video. But book videos are so fun when they're long. I love watching B-roll and stuff. But anyway, that's what we've done this week. I'm really happy, but I also just want to embrace the fact that I am in a little bit of a slump. It's fine. I have a lot going on personally, wedding planning, work-wise. Like I have a lot going on. So yeah. Please forgive me, it wasn't the most successful reading vlog, but I'm still glad I did it. But with that said, I will see you all in the next one. Bye guys.